Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some absurd spice in the Open Master League featuring a level 50 Shadow VICTREEBEL. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now Shadow VICTREEBEL, a Pokemon typically only seen in the Great League, and at level 50 it only gets the 2700 CP, so this is definitely not a Pokemon I'd recommend using, but this trainer is able to get some wins. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out level 50 Shadow VICTREEBEL in the Open Master League. Hopping to the first match, picking up a very nice lead, Groudon into Zacian. Groudon does do extremely well here because Precipice Blades is just an absolutely absurd move. Groudon tanks whatever they throw, opponent is going to go for the Play Rough, that's going to connect. Groudon farming up a ton of energy here, going for the Fire Punch bait. Regardless, we'll need 2 charge moves to KO here. Opponent lets the Fire Punch go, and now Groudon full sending the Precipice Blades. Precipice Blades gets the KO. In comes Kyogre. We see a pivot into Zekrom. Checking to see, does the opponent have a Dialga in the back? And they do. And this now sets up perfectly for the Shadow VICTREEBEL. Outrage, big damage onto the Dialga. Dialga farming up with 1 HP remaining, reaching one final charge move here. It is the Iron Head, but now Dialga sees something it's never seen before. It gets Razor Leaf down by a Master League Shadow VICTREEBEL. You have got to be kidding me. Down goes Kyogre, and that is a good game. Picking up a decent lead in the next match, Groudon into Mewtwo. Much like the Zacian matchup, this is type neutral, but just based on the fact that Precipice Blades is a truly absurd move, this is a pretty good matchup for Groudon. Groudon is going to tank the Side Strike, go for the Precipice Blades, massive damage onto the Mewtwo, and Groudon farms down. Looks like the Mewtwo was slightly underpowered. In comes Zacian. Zacian goes for the close combat, but loses CMP to the Groudon. Precipice Blades gets the first shield. They're going to KO with the close combat, but now they're going to be debuffed, and it's going to be Shadow VICTREEBEL time. In comes the VICTREEBEL. In the back, opponent is running Melmetal, and Melmetal is going to be answered with Zekrom. This is a pretty decent matchup for Zekrom, made even better by the fact that Zekrom does have a shield advantage. Zekrom tanks the Rock Slide like it's nothing, and now returns fire with the Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt connects onto the Melmetal, opponent hanging onto that final shield, but with a Razor Leafer in the back, I don't think they're going to get an opportunity to use that shield. Looks like Zekrom is going to try for the farm down here. Opponent makes it to yet another charge move, but Zekrom will not get KO'd. Zekrom cannot get the farm down. Melmetal with 1 HP remaining, able to hang on. Superpower will get the KO, but now there is the worst nightmare for Zacian, a 2-shielded Master League Shadow VICTREEBEL. We know they have close combat. What is that second charge move? Opponent is running Wild Charge, so every time they throw, they're just lowering their defense more and more and more. VICTREEBEL double shielding, gets the farm down. All that's left is the 1 HP Melmetal, going for the Sludge Bomb disrespect. Sludge Bomb takes down the Melmetal, and that's game over. We've got mirror leads in the next match, Groudon versus Groudon. Considering there's a Zekrom in the back, definitely needing to stay in the lead. Farming up, going for the Precipice Blades, but the opponent makes a beautiful catch, catching the Precipice Blades onto Lugia. Very nicely done by the opponent, and now in comes Zekrom. Zekrom taking super effective damage from the Dragon Tails, but the nice thing is we'll be resisting all of Lugia's charge moves. Zekrom farming up quite a lot of energy here, going for the Fusion Bolt and making it to the back-to-back charge moves, putting a lot of pressure onto the opponent here. They're going to let the Lugia go. In comes Groudon. Groudon will be met with the outrage from the Zekrom. Do they respect it? Yes, they do. Opponent respects the outrage, gets the mud shot down. They have so much energy. In comes the Master League Shadow VICTREEBEL. VICTREEBEL commits the shield. Fire Punch would be absolutely deadly. Groudon has so much energy here, going for another Fire Punch. We see the double shield from the VICTREEBEL. VICTREEBEL looking for the farm down, but Groudon left with 100 energy, able to make it to another Fire Punch. That gets them low. In the back, it is Zacian, farming up energy, not quite able to make it to the Sludge Bomb here, and sending in the Groudon. Groudon will be hit with a Play Rough from the Zacian. Groudon farming up, making it to the Precipice Blades. Now this will be forcing the final shield from the opponent, as they would get KO'd from this range. Zacian farming up quite a bit of energy here. Groudon, no shields remaining. Play Rough is going to KO. In comes the Victreebel. It can only make it to the Leaf Blade. Will this KO? Zacian able to hang on, and that's game over. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Groudon into Zacian. This is a very nice lead for Groudon, as we've seen opponent is running Snarl on their Zacian. Groudon farming up, no baits this time, going straight for the Precipice Blades. Precipice Blades will be shielded by the Zacian. Zacian farming up quite a bit of energy here. Groudon can tank one, so we will see a no shield. They're running close combat, and they're going for close combat number 2. We are going to see a shield from the Groudon. Opponent now 4 stages debuffed. They're staying in this matchup despite being incredibly debuffed. We see Precipice Blades number 2 into the Zacian, and that does get the KO. Opponent sends in Yveltal, and this is a bit awkward. Going to bank a move, send in Zekrom. You basically just have to hope that the opponent is going to stay in here. They're going to fire off a Dark Pulse into the Zekrom. Zekrom returns fire with the Fusion Bolt. This team is ABA weak to flyers, with both Groudon and the Shadow Victreebel definitely not appreciating flyers. We're going to see a shield on the Dark Pulse. Zekrom farming up, trying to make it to the Fusion Bolt. Gets to the Fusion Bolt. Opponent catches it onto Kyogre. That is a bit unfortunate, as I would have loved to see Shadow Victreebel destroy the Kyogre. But Zekrom gets the farm down. We now see a switch into the Shadow Victreebel. If you have the Shadow Vic, may as well show your opponent. Dark Pulse is going to get them low. Victreebel cannot get the farm down, but Groudon has the Fire Punch loaded. Will win CMP over Yveltal. Fire Punch gets the KO, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, going up against Marto, a fellow Spice Lord, picking up a tough lead, Groudon into Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is a pretty big core breaker for this team, as it does very well against both Groudon and the Zekrom. Groudon able to land the Fire Punch, which is quite good, but we do see Tapu Bulu make it to the Grass Knot. Grass Knot will be shielded by the Groudon. Somehow that ended up being a CMP tie. My guess is there was a little bit of lag there. Fire Punch will be shielded. We see a pivot into Shadow Victreebel, and unfortunately that's going to be punished with Dialga. Trying to make it to the Sludge Bomb, cannot get there. Unable to fire off the poison move into the Steel type, so forced to settle for the Leaf Blade. Dialga well over the Draco Meteor here, calls the bait. It is the Iron Head. That is a big no shield. Groudon farming up, making it to the Precipice Blades, but losing CMP to Dialga. Everything going wrong in this match that could go wrong. In comes Zekrom. Zekrom needing the farm down here, but Dialga will make an Iron Head. Zekrom forced to commit a shield. There's still the Tapu Bulu alive, and we still have not seen the third. Zekrom gets the farm down in the back. Opponent running Machamp. They show the third. Snipe with the Tapu Bulu, and that's game over. Picking up a pretty decent lead in the next match, Groudon into Mewtwo. Definitely going to be staying in this matchup with the Shadow Victreebel at the back and just playing it out with Groudon. Groudon farming up to the Precipice Blades, losing CMP to Mewtwo. We see the no shield on the Psystrike. Psystrike is going to definitely leave its mark, but Groudon returning fire with the Precipice Blades. That will be shielded by the Mewtwo. Mewtwo massively over farming here, going for their Psystrike. We will see a shield from the Groudon. Groudon very close to another Precipice Blades, able to get there, and now decision time for the opponent. Are they willing to burn the final shield? Precipice Blades get shielded. We see a pivot into Zekrom. Zekrom farming up energy here. Mewtwo over farms too much. Zekrom makes it to the Fusion Bolt. That's gonna KO. Zekrom now with a shield advantage, and the opponent concedes the match. Looks like they switched up the team for the rest of the battles, now leading Ho-Oh into Mamoswine. Opponent is going to farm up some energy, save switch into Mewtwo. Mewtwo over farming a ton of energy. Ho-Oh going for the Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire is going to get the shield and get the debuff on the Mewtwo. That is quite nice. Ho-Oh is going to no shield the debuff Psystrike. That's going to connect. Ho-Oh will be hit with Psystrike number 2. This is debuffed. Psystrike not gonna KO. Ho-Oh makes the Brave Bird, putting so much pressure onto the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is gonna no-shield that. In the back, opponent has Togekiss. Togekiss will be met with Melmetal. Back in comes the Mamoswine, and it will immediately be answered with the Shadow Victreebel. Victreebel taking super effective damage from the Powder Snow, but these Razor Leaves are tearing through Mamoswine's HP. Mamoswine cannot make another charge move. Back in comes the Togekiss. Oh man, it's time for Sludge Bomb to shine. Do they respect the damage? They do not! Victreebel KOs a Togekiss, and that's a good game. Picking up an interesting lead in the next match, Ho-Oh into Garchomp. This will depend on the moveset, and this Garchomp is running Dragon Tail. Garchomp, a bit awkward, opponent throwing on alignment, giving an entire Incinerate for free as they go straight for the Sand Tomb. Ho-Oh returning fire with the Sacred Fire here. Sacred Fire is going to connect and get the debuff. Ho-Oh continuing to farm. Opponent going for another Sand Tomb. Ho-Oh does not have to respect this. Sand Tomb will be no-shielded. Ho-Oh going for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird will be lethal here. Brave Bird does get shielded. We see a save switch into Shadow Victreebel. Shadow Victreebel not quite able to get the farm down. Will commit the shield here. Victreebel cannot take a move whatsoever. It is just the Sand Tomb as Victreebel gets the farm down. Opponent has a Melmetal in the back, and that is not great news. And Victreebel loses CMP to the Melmetal. Rock Slide KOs the Victreebel, and now things are looking quite dire. In comes Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh farming up. Opponent banks a move, sends in Gyarados. Wait, there's a win con here. Going for the Brave Bird. Gyarados shields. That is incredibly fortunate because now Melmetal can massively overfarm and get energy in this matchup. Melmetal can go for the Rock Slide. That's going to deal quite a bit of damage and potentially commit to a Thundershock farm down here. Gyarados fires off the Crunch, hoping for the debuff, and it happens. Opponent getting some luck on their side. Gyarados making it to another charge move here. It's the Aqua Tail. Melmetal able to hang on, get the full farm down, and leave with the back-to-back superpowers. So against all odds, basically only having Melmetal around, Melmetal is able to clutch in the endgame as superpower KOs the opponent. Picking up a great lead in the next match, Ho-Oh into Togekiss. Togekiss staying in this lead matchup, which is quite good news for the Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh farming up, going straight for the Sacred Fire. This is going to hurt. Decision time for the Togekiss. They will commit the shield. We do not see an attack debuff. Ho-Oh is going to commit a shield as Ancient Power will definitely hurt. Togekiss gets the boost and things starting to go wrong. Farming up with the Ho-Oh, going for another Sacred Fire, but now the opponent has buffed attack and defense. They will shield. Thankfully, we do see the attack debuff, so now their attack is back to normal. Committing the second shield on the Ho-Oh, just trying to get rid of this Togekiss. Over-farming massively with the Ho-Oh and going for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird will be lethal here. Down goes Togekiss. Opponent sends in Kyurem. Kyurem definitely not going to appreciate the Sacred Fire here. Sacred Fire rocks the Kyurem. We see a pivot into Melmetal. Melmetal farming up Kyurem, able to strike first and making it to the Glaciate. Glaciate is going to connect. Opponent sends in Golden Go, and this is honestly quite bad, as Golden Go is going to synchro resist both the Rock Slide and the Superpower. So we are going to see a Rock Slide fired by the Melmetal into the Golden Go. Golden Go tanks it like it's nothing. Golden Go farming up so much energy here. Melmetal makes it to yet another Rock Slide. Again, Golden Go can just shrug off this damage, look to max out on energy before firing off a charge move. They go for the Shadow Ball. That's going to get the Melmetal low. Melmetal trying to make it to the Superpower and does not. Sends in the Victreebel, aggressive switch into the Ho-Oh, and we are going to see Golden Go fire off a Shadow Ball. That KOs the Ho-Oh. Can Victreebel make it to a move? The answer is no. Golden Go makes the Shadow Ball. That's gonna KO, and that's game over. Hopping into the final match, leading Ho-Oh into Shadow Mewtwo. Shadow Mewtwo always scary since it can output a tremendous amount of damage. Ho-Oh farming up. Mewtwo is going to strike first, going for the Psy Strike. We see the no shield from the Ho-Oh. Psy Strike definitely going to hurt. Ho-Oh able to outpace by a turn and make it to the Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire will basically KO the Mewtwo at this range. So Mewtwo will commit the shield and fire off another Psy Strike. We will see a shield from the Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh continuing to farm. Opponent save switches into Dialga. Dialga not going to appreciate the Sacred Fire here. Does the opponent commit the shield? They do not. Dialga gets rocked and in comes Melmetal. Melmetal looking for a potential Thundershock farm down. Dialga is going to make it to the Draco Meteor, but Melmetal able to withstand the damage and fully Thundershock down. Opponent is going to send in Groudon as their final Pokemon. Groudon going to be hit with Superpower after Superpower from the Melmetal. Unfortunately, each subsequent Superpower is going to do less due to the stat debuff, but Melmetal doing what it can in this scenario. Melmetal making it to yet another superpower. Opponent shielding the double debuff superpower. If they were planning on shielding, they needed to shield the first one. They go for the Fire Punch. That's going to KO. And now, is it time? Do you send in the Shadow Victreebel? In comes the Victreebel. Not able to make a catch, but the Razor Leaf did go through, committing the shield on the Precipice Blades. That's going to KO. In comes the Shadow Mewtwo, and now we see the catch. Beautifully done. Psystrike caught onto the Ho-Oh. Shadow Victreebel is going to take the win against Shadow Mewtwo. Leaf Blade gets the KO, and that's game over. All in all, these were some very fun battles in the Open Master League featuring level 50 Shadow Victreebel. Victreebel definitely not a Pokemon I would recommend running for Master League, so it makes the fact that he was able to play in Masters and actually get some wins with it all the more impressive. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.